So now what should people do to make sure that they do have the right structure?
First and foremost, we're always going to say, talk to your attorney, but you can take a look at your own trust document. And especially if it was written before 2013, that's a good indicator that you probably do want to talk to your attorney and make sure this is the right thing for you. I'm just going to say that the provisions in the trust that talk about the A and B trust structure, they're very legal. It might be hard for a client to pick up their trust and read it and try and figure out what they have. So I would say, to be on the safe side, talk to your attorney, especially if your trust was written before 2013.
That's a good point. It can even be challenging for new attorneys to figure out how to read that language.
That's true. We've had a few conversations.
These are revocable trusts, which means that while you and your spouse are alive and have capacity, you are able to change them. And that's a fairly simple update to your estate planning documents.
That's right. The problem that we see, though, is when a client comes to us, a new client walks in the door that we've never met before, and this client happens to be a widow or widower and their surviving spouse. And we have to tell them that they have an AB trust. So once this first spouse dies and we have this AB trust, that is irrevocable. We cannot change it. It's irrevocable. And now this surviving spouse is stuck with this AB structure.
But you and I both know that irrevocable doesn't mean that it cannot be changed ever under any circumstances. It's just going to be harder. So what we can do is what's called a petition to modify, and we file a petition with the court. We are asking the court to modify the trust in a way that removes the requirement that the trust divide into these two subtrusts. And we have had a lot of success with these petitions.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple thing to do. When you hear the word petition in probate court, you probably are thinking about, oh, I know I'm supposed to avoid probate, because that's what we say all day, every day. This is different. This is not probate. This is not that 1.5-year process that takes forever and is so frustrating and costs so much money. This is just one petition, one hearing. We point out to the judge that, we set this trust up way back in the day. Things have changed. That's the key. Things have changed and we don't need it anymore. And a probate court is a court of equity. So their focus is on doing what's right and best and fair, not on following the letter of the law, no matter what kind of distorted result we get. And so we've been able to do this for many clients. What I will say, though, is that this procedure is not for every family. Everyone in the family whose rights are going to be impacted by this procedure has an opportunity to object. And so I think you can kind of extrapolate and imagine that in a blended family where the surviving spouse has their own children and the deceased spouse has their own children, they might not all agree to this modification because it would impact the family of the deceased spouse. So we have to take a careful look at that before we jump in and start filing petitions.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Absolute Trust Talk Live. If you enjoyed listening in, then don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you may listen by searching Absolute Trust Talk. While you're there, we would also love for you to leave us a review. And then why not share your favorite episodes with family, friends, or colleagues too? You can find all of our shows and corresponding show notes by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com. You'll also find a variety of other free resources, including our ebooks, videos, blogs, presentations, and more. If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcounsel.com/scheduling. Don't forget to keep an eye out for our next live episode. If you join us for the broadcast, you can submit questions during the show. But if not, don't worry. You can always get in touch with us by sending a quick message to info@absolutetrustcounsel.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.